Welcome to Invest Insights. I'm Abby Maloney. I'm joined today by Grant Cardone, the founder of the 10X Movement and Cardone Enterprises. Grant, it's a pleasure to have you.
Hey, great to be with you. Thank you so much for thinking enough of me to do this in the new year.
Absolutely. Well, it's widely known that you have already achieved great wealth in your life, and you have a well-publicized, high-flying lifestyle. Given the start of the new year, how does a person with such success and who has obtained so much set resolutions? What are your resolutions for 2023?
Well, you know what I do, I think that those are short-lived for most people. You know, they commit to losing weight and making more money and being happier and having a better marriage and getting in shape and blah, blah, blah. I don't really look at New Year's like that, right? How I finish a year is typically how I start one. So hopefully everybody had a strong finish. And that carries momentum into the new year as it has for me. But if you didn't have that, then I'm like looking at very short targets. I can hold myself for very short periods of time, 3 and 4 and 5 days. That's what I would tell people to do rather than worry about where you're going to be at the end of the year.
Sure.
I would look for little, maybe anything that you feel like I can do this for 5 days, whatever.
Right.
And then I lean on that. I measure it very closely and I do whatever I can to make sure I'm getting some kind of victory in it.
At Capital Analytics, we have been reporting extensively on how the markets are in uncertain territory after years of unsurpassed growth. I talk often about how there are more than just a few concerns regarding recession. I mean, it's supply chain disruptions, it's labor shortages, inflation, rising interest rates. When dealing with a downturn, and specifically this downturn, what does opportunity look like for you? And where do you see the greatest opportunities across the business landscape right now?
So I think that real estate, first of all, I'm very, very excited about 2023. I think this is going to be the biggest real estate opportunity cycle in my lifetime. I own a company called Cardone Capital. We have $4 billion worth of assets under management. We have 11,000 investors, distributed $50 million in distributions to our investors last year.
Wow.
I think that I double or triple my real estate holdings this year. What the Fed has done on interest rates, I believe, is not only a mistake. I mean, I think it's a terrible, grave, epic mistake of epic proportions, trying to supposedly control inflation. Inflation is what it is. It was caused by COVID and the supply chain. It was not just caused by low interest rates. The Fed has never been able to actually control inflation. And the marketplace is the only thing that controls inflation. When the price of something gets too expensive, people quit buying it, and then it will get adjusted back downward. The supply problems that you suggested have already been resolved. We're probably going to end up with more inventory this year and it's going to show up at a time when there's going to be less spending and less in hiring. So while this year is going to be very difficult, unfortunately for a lot of people, it's going to create tremendous opportunities for those that know what they're looking for.
Sure. And you've talked a lot about how the US will become increasingly a nation of renters, that investors, not homeowners, will be the ones buying single family homes. We cover over 18 metro areas in the US at Capital Analytics, and we are seeing more and more of this phenomenon. I'm curious how that informs your view of what many are calling a housing affordability crisis across the country. And what are the solutions out there for people, not billionaires, not venture capital firms, but just the average folk, that they might not realize?
Well, the first thing that people don't realize is the venture capital funds and the pension funds and the hedge funds, they're not going to be in the market. They were predicting they would be in the market, but they will not be in the market in this cycle. The beginning of this cycle will be for people like me. Okay. Now I know you're going to put me in a different category and say I'm an exception, but individuals, the individual household in America, the actions of the Fed is basically going to stop your ability to purchase a home. It's going to feel terrible to you, but it might be the greatest gift that's ever been given to you, because you shouldn't be buying a single family home. You should be buying the apartment complex across the street.
Right.
And this is the first time in my entire 35-year career doing this, where I will have the opportunity to buy that asset without dealing with Blackstone or Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan or Prudential or KKR. these mega heavyweight firms. These are industries. These aren't wealthy people. These are machines. They are not able to purchase today for a number of reasons that we don't actually have enough time for, but they're not. They're going to sell their assets.
Sure.
And if the everyday family could put 8 or 10 people together and fund those deals, you're better off buying that asset class than even a single family home. That being said, for anybody that's looking at single family homes, you're going to get a slight correction. You're not going to get a crash. There will be no crash in single family homes in America, because people like me are going to walk in and say, okay, it's in Malibu, it's on the sand. Drop the price again, drop it one more time, I'm buying it. And people are going to pay cash for them. They're not going to get a mortgage. They don't need a mortgage. And they're going to end up using those as Airbnbs. Last thing, the rental market did not exist in 2010 when the mortgage crisis happened. It exists now. Short-term rentals are a way for people to resolve their mortgage problems.
Correct. You've made your fortune in real estate, and you're also a social media influencer. Looking specifically at real estate, if you go on social media, Instagram, TikTok, there are plenty of influencers with videos claiming a get-rich-quick hack. Much of that information can be contradictory or downright incorrect. How do you separate the good from the bad? And what do you think people who have viewed that content should be aware of before they decide to refinance a home or jump into real estate investing?
Well, it's a great question, and there is a lot of charlatans, criminals, and fraud on the internet.
Oh yeah.
What I would do is I would look for whoever's selling you whatever they're selling you or telling you whatever they're telling you. Show me your assets. Like, you remember the Jerry Maguire movie, show me the money, show me the money. You need to have these people show you their assets. What did you buy? If I told you the number of people, Abby, that said that they were real estate experts and they own nothing, we own 12,000 apartments. Yeah. My distributions this month were $6 million to our partners, $6 million in cash. Wow. My personal distributions were $18 million that I was distributed to myself because of my investments in real estate this year. Now, if I make those claims to you, then you now at that moment have the right to say, show me. And I'll be like, all right, here, and here. And anybody that doesn't want to show you that is a fraud. Yep. It's simple. It's so simple. Like, just show me the money. We did a public, every month we do a Zoom call with our investors. Last night, I think it was last night or the night before, we did a distribution call that was private. And at the same time, I did it on Twitter Spaces to 3,000 people that aren't even invested with me. You're looking for somebody that has transparency, not that talks about transparency, but that is transparent. So what deal am I buying? What are the rents there? All this, you can show all this. Give me a property address. The moment a coach or an expert on Instagram says they own 17 companies, give me the names of them. Let me do my due diligence on them. If they can't, and if they won't, if they get upset about it, run as fast as you can.
You've said that you would buy any property in Florida. Why?
Well, I don't know that I said that exactly, but I did say that I love Florida real estate that has income. If it produces income, it's in a great area. It's good schools, hospitals around it, close to an Amazon, close to a Whole Foods, or like it's got discretionary money. I love Florida. I like the state. I like the action it's getting. And again, I like these blue states that they're sending traffic organically that I don't have to advertise for it. New York is sending people down here every day. New Jersey, Illinois, California. People want to live down here because it's cheap, and because of the taxes, and because of much of some of the political decisions. We don't wear masks down here. We don't worry about the 6 feet. Some people might think that's crazy, but some people think it's cool. So that's why I say I like Florida. I like Arizona, I like Texas, I like Utah, Colorado, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, all of Georgia. A lot of places I do like.
And I suspect for similar reasons, an influx of new population, those northern states becoming more expensive, looking at new opportunities to maybe states that are a little bit more open as we experienced during the COVID pandemic.
Yes, exactly.
And while I would love to talk with you all day, Grant, all good things must come to an end. And I'd like to ask you one last question. What is your advice to the young Grant Cardones of the world looking to make a better future for themselves?
Well, I would tell you that number one, it's real. It's possible, no matter what you hear or see, or, you know, any level of success is real. Second thing I would tell young people is don't focus on sports and entertainment. You know, focus on business. You know, my career will outlast every baseball player, basketball player, rapper, and performer. I can go until I'm 99 years old. I don't need any special talent. The next thing I would tell people is look, invest in yourself. Don't just invest in yourself to go to college. There's so many better investments in education. Like I wouldn't go to college again personally. I would invest in myself. Every day I spend an hour to 2 hours studying super successful people on YouTube.
Oh, that's interesting. Anything you recommend as of late?
This morning, who did I watch this morning? I was watching the Vanderbilts this morning, how they built their freaking dynasty.
Sure.
And it was crazy because most of these guys back in those days, they dropped out in the 8th grade.
Yes.
They didn't wait till college. They were grinding out at 15 years old. So that really gave me a lot of inspiration. I'll tell you also, I would tell everybody, start earlier. This idea that you need to enjoy your kid years is ridiculous. You're not going to enjoy, nobody enjoys being a teenager. I've met millions of people in my lifetime. I have never met one person that said they enjoyed their teenage years. I would not wait till you're a young adult. I would go now, 12 years old, 13, 14 years old, and I would start learning business and money and investing. I would learn all about real estate. And then spend time. Last thing is spend time with people like me that are telling you can do anything. Because it won't be your family that's telling you that. Even if your mom believes you can do anything, she's also going to hold you back a little bit because she doesn't want you to hurt yourself.
Well, thank you very much, Grant, and good luck with the 10X Summit in February.
Thank you.
Well, that was Grant Cardone, the founder of the 10X Movement and Cardone Enterprises. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to hear more CEOs and thought leaders share their opinions and advice on today's business climate. Until next time, I'm Abby Maloney, and this has been Invest Insights. Thanks for tuning in.